morning, good morning, good morning, my loves. Good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. So it's a beautiful Thursday, and today I wanted to do one of my Celeb Matters um, videos. I haven't done a live on celebrities for a while. I kind of like to um, talk about celebrity matters. Not necessarily because of any other reason, but to help coach you into understanding how sometimes situations with celebs can kind of get us to see some things differently. We can actually realize, hey, dailies, good morning. When we see some things with our celebrities and what's going on with them, a lot of times we can get some very good, intricate information to help not just them. I mean, if it does, that's a beautiful thing. I would love to help celebrities. So if you know Lauren London, please, by all means, reach out to her. But outside of that, I really think that we can get some really huge understandings about life when we dive in and understand some things that celebrities go through that we don't really understand or think about. So, good morning, everybody. I'm your coach, Carla Nicole. Be sure to please subscribe to my channel. Also, share this video. The more we share, the more I get views, of course. And please hit the notification bell, because when you hit the notification bell, you're notified when I go live or any upcoming videos coming up. So please make sure to hit the notification bell, because that also helps you as well. And also, my phone number, if you would like to get your own living soul reading, you can actually call my phone number, which is 844-594-7366. And you can just click extension 0. That'll get a hold to me. And also, if that's too much to remember, just hit 8445 wisdom and you can find me and we can talk from there. Okay? So good morning, everyone. Welcome. I wanted to actually talk about this celebrities, because I think sometimes celebrities we get really intrigued by. We love them. We get excited about them. But we can also learn from something that they've actually went through, or sometimes what actually they've gone through. And I think that one of the fun things about celebrities is people already know, if they're into that celeb, they already know what she or he is going through. So me saying that I'm going to coach them, then of course, hey Eric, thank you for my nail compliment. When people actually realize, oh, the celebrity's going through some stuff, and they are. How would you coach her, coach? What would you say? What would you give her? What would you tell her? So first of all, welcome everybody. I'm talking about today the beautiful Lauren London. She is a actress and a devout mother, and unfortunately, she's a widow of her husband Nipsey Russell. And so the sad part about it is, she has gone through some traumatic scenarios in this situation that she lost her husband. So if you don't know Lauren London, please look her up. She's beautiful. She's amazing. She's a dynamic woman. And I feel like I was actually spiritually moved last night to say what I would do or how I would coach her if she was available to me to do so. So unfortunately, she became a widow. Good morning. Um, she has become a widow. And so unfortunately, because she lost her husband, she really lost her way, unfortunately. And this is not uncommon. We all have to deal with death. So let me explain something about death real quick. I'm not going to go into a long, drawn out thing, but let me just say, deaths come in all shapes and sizes. Okay. So what I mean by that is sometimes we have a death of a loved one, a death of the way our life was, change, period. We go through deaths all the time. And really, we're in a winter solstice right now, which is the death of the last seasons. So now I'm really wanting to tap into what's really going on with Lauren, because I think she has had some really big challenges, and you still have to be a mother, and you still have to be holding down your your late husband's um, his empire, and you still have to be in the mindset to still focus on being in the now and being in the present. So I wanted to talk about that because we don't talk about grief enough. I don't really like to go down this situation, but I do think that we can learn from what Lauren has gone through. I think it's important that we pay attention to how celebrities do it, because not only is she dealing with her own grief and being a mom by herself, she still has to hold up an image because she's a celebrity. So again, she has to be mindful on a different level than, when we just go out and do what we do. We don't really have to worry about those. So it's a challenge for a lot of us to really sit down and figure out, well, how would we deal with this? It's such a challenge. So first of all, I want to let you know I am a profile reader for a numerology guidance system called the Living Soul. So in the Living Soul numerology system, there are 4 archetypes, okay? Today, I want to talk about, there's a moon archetype, there's a sun archetype, there's an earth archetype, and there's a whole living soul archetype that we all hold in our living soul. So, we get this numerology from your birthday. So anyway, I didn't want to do all of Lauren London's reading because I don't want to just talk about her numbers and what I would tell her and how I would guide her from the living soul strategy. But I did want to talk about why it's important that we know this, so you can understand kind of what she's going through, and unfortunately what a lot of women are going through when they lose a spouse or they lose someone to death. That's very important to them. So let's dive in. So with Lauren London, she is, in her moon archetype, she is a soul promoter. Okay, her and I share in this archetype. So I just want to let you know I got a little more skinny on this archetype because I hold the same attributes as she does. But outside of that, I'm not going to just come from my own understanding of my own, but I am going to tell you that because her soul archetype, moon archetype is a 3. She is a soul promoter. So her soul promoter archetype is actually a soul that really cares about others, loves to elevate others, is big about balance, loves stillness, loves reality and truth. She's big about how she can be cooperative in this lifetime while she's here. So just to let you know, I actually pulled up her actually being a soul promoter. And I got that information from her birthday, and her first number is 12. She's born in December, so 1 + 2 = 3. And the third actual archetype in the living soul is a soul promoter. So Lauren London is a very dynamic woman. So if I ever got blessed to sit before Lauren and talk to her about how I would really coach her to her next step in life, I would encourage her to not get so submerged in grief to where she can't love again. Now, the thing about it is that when you lose a love affair, it's already hard enough. It's a death, okay? But when you lose a lover, husband, father, provider in such a gruesome, traumatic way, It takes everything you have to even remotely imagine what you have to deal with inside. So people may want to judge her for, well, why didn't she get back in the dating pool, and why doesn't she hurry up and just move on? He's not coming back, and all of those things. Well, it's not really about that per se. See, what I like to advise to Lauren, if she was my client, I would express to her that it's really not about hurrying up and getting in a relationship after grief. And it appears to look like she's really taking her time to really work on herself. Again, being a soul promoter also means that she holds in her spirit and soul a whole lot of selflessness. She's a selfless woman, which means she cares about others, but she's also very selfless, which means she can cooperate and make sure that she can elevate other people. So with that said, I believe personally, because from what I spiritually feel from her spirit, is that she's really going through her grief in a very still way. She's not moving. She's really still. She's really trying to get a grasp, a hold of her new reality. And in her stillness, I can feel on her that she's really heavy, but she's really very conscious of the newness of her now. Which again, because she's a very spiritually driven woman, she is a dynamic mother. So she really holds true to being focused on being dedicated in her mothering, which right now is holding the most priority, because not only did she lose her husband, her children lost their father. So again, this is a lot to wrap your mind around, and this is a lot to wrap your arms around when you're trying to get a grip of, unfortunately, the loss of your spouse that you love so dearly and so much. So also, I would express to her, being that she's a soul promoter, in this lifetime, she has such a dynamic beauty. And I'm not talking about her physical beauty. I'm talking about her inner self. She has tapped into her inner beauty because she tapped into her level of self-love that is very hard to get to. Self-loving is not a practice that we're taught. It's not a practice that we are educated by. We really have to take our time to learn how to really get serious about loving self. In her husband Nipsey's death, she now has to turn inwardly to find how to really, even more so, be so solid in her love of self that she doesn't waver out of that. So, because she appears to be pretty strict on staying in her realm alone right now and not seeking to find a new partner, not seeking to get remarried, not seeking to date again right now, because it appears to look as though she is really solid in focusing inward on her self-love. I applaud that. I think that's a beautiful thing. Loving children through a loss is not easy. And let me just say, loss doesn't always just represent death. Loss also can represent divorce, okay, or separation. So again, we can go through death in different ways. So please take what I'm saying as a understanding that you can really elevate out of a death by actually sitting down and realizing, oh, I can get to a newness of what I've been through. Yes, you can. It just challenges you by actually helping you to sit back and realize, this is what I need to do so that I can go to my higher self and so that I can get back to loving me. Now, from what I see with Lauren, she is not just a woman that is unable to live alone. So let me get this clear. I do see that Lauren, and she and I share in this, we don't have to remarry. We can stay on the planet and be okay in a single relationship with ourselves and be just fine. Trust me. However, From what I see with Lauren, I really believe that she will soar and get even higher in her purpose if she connects back with getting her love affairs or her love affair back. And here's what I mean by that. So, how do you love again after loss? That's not easy. It's not. It's very challenging. It's very hurtful. And it's very, unfortunately, it's very challenging because there's been trauma here. She lost somebody that she was close to. So, in order for her to open up again to love, will be challenging. However, she's a spiritually driven woman. I'm going to tell you a little something that I think might help you to understand why I would coach her to this and why I would tell her this. I lost my mother personally, me. I lost my mom in 2004. And I will say that when my mother passed on and transitioned, she is still not, she's passed on, but she's transitioned into the afterlife. Yet I know without a shadow of a doubt that my mother still protects me in the realm that she's in now. Even though she's not physically here, she still makes appointments for me. What I mean by that is, my mother, since she's been deceased, has appointed elder women in my life since she's been gone, since 2004. I've always had an elder mother, like an elder woman or a mother guide that has been appointed by my deceased mom. And I know this with I just know. So since then, since she passed on and left here, she has since then passed the torch to chosen now appointed women in my life since she's left. Okay? I said all that to say that although Lauren lost her husband and he has been deceased and passed on, the love doesn't die. The love is still present. It's just transitioned and changed and transformed. It's not gone. It doesn't dissipate because he passed on. It just changes. Okay? So, with that said, because she's gone through a loss, her husband was brutally murdered, she can now, when she's ready, and I wouldn't force her to hurry up because it's not my call. I'm just her coach. I would just advise her, listen, Lauren, I'm not here to tell you when the time is to go back out and start being open. Not open to where you're seeking, but open to being willing to have someone approach, to have someone come into your life, to have someone be in a relationship with. Okay? And it doesn't always mean the relationship's going to look like what you and Nipsey had. You're not going to get that again. However, I believe she can ask for his blessings from the other side and help to make appointments for men or a man to fill in what she's lost since he's gone. Now, that sounds different. That sounds very spooky if you're not into understanding spiritually, but it's true. If she turns spiritually and does some strong meditation and becomes open to being willful, I'm not asking her to just throw it away. I'm not asking her to do that. But what I am asking her to do is to just really consider tapping into her love that she had with him. And then have a newfound rebirth inside of herself. So birth inside you openness so that if there are approaches, if there are men that want to, be, involved and date or talk to you or get involved with you, be open. Because I think personally that she would really do well with having another one come in her life, because Lauren works well with promoting others. She is a soul promoter. Remember, I told you that earlier. According to the living soul archetype, moon archetype, she is a soul promoter. So she would do well with actually promoting up and caring about someone. Here's what's true. A lot of women, I'm just going to be honest, a lot of women struggle with being cooperative. A lot of women struggle not only with being cooperative, but a lot of women struggle with being in a relationship because they're really okay with, their singleness and their independence and all this stuff. So a lot of women struggle with being cooperative. However, Lauren doesn't have that problem. Lauren's actual, if I'm just going to be honest with you, Lauren is, like I said, a soul promoter, but she also, in her archetype, she is androgynous submissive. An androgynous submissive woman. Androgynous means she's neutral. Submissive means she is cooperative. So what that means is when you have a woman like Lauren London that's beautiful on the outside and inside, you have a woman that is androgynous, which means she's neutral. She's a neutral being, which means she has a willful, once she gets okay and back to her openness to get back into being in a unit, a family unit again, she will realize that, oh, okay, so what would be the way I would know that Nipsey is appointing this man? I mean, how would I know? Well, it won't be forced. It'll be a very natural, very simple, it would be so, it would move in with your waves of your being. And the way your waves of being is neutral. You're a balanced woman. You're full of purpose. You know why you're here and all of that. So it's going to be a very smooth and moving relation. So it won't be forced. And you don't have to go out and look for it and say, well, which one is it? Is it him? Is it him? Well, no. Stay in your being as you are. You are a androgynous submissive woman. So because of that, you don't have to do anything. What will happen is his approach, his entry, his soul entry into your life will be very natural. And then he will share in certain attributes that you will notice complements what you are. So when you have someone that is more in sync, you don't have to force it. You don't have to feel as though, oh my God, I'm not trying to do all this dating stuff. It's too much of a hassle. I don't got that to do. I just want to be a mom and keep my life simple. I get it. However, in this lifetime, and this is the message for not just Lauren, but other women that are simple and have gone through a loss or gone through a separation or divorce or whatever you got going on. It's okay to ask spiritually. If it's not an ex that got murdered, ask for help from someone that loved you that's passed on. Energetically, they aren't gone. The love doesn't die. The love just transcends. It changes, transitions. However, all you have to do is be like, listen, I know for a fact I can actually just tune into that person and maybe just ask, is there a way that I can be reopened? I don't want it to be heavy. I don't want it to be hard. I don't want it to be difficult. I don't want it to be, a situation where my children are going to feel a way about it because they don't want anybody else or whatever, what have you. We have a lot to think about. And I know that Lauren, because of her celebrity, she's going to have a heaviness with this transition. And this is what I coach to. This is how I help you. Listen, it is not easy to even wrap your mind around getting involved again in another affair. I get it. However, I think that Lauren will soar and she will just go so far high in her purpose with being open again to having a family unit again. It's not hard. It just requires some tapping in. And then when you tap into energetically reaching out to him, just say, I just want to feel safe. I just want to feel the safety that I had with our love affair. I want to feel the comfort. I want to feel the joy. I want to feel everything that we had. And I know it might not be exact, but I want to feel that again. I don't want it to be difficult. I don't want it to be hard. I can't even imagine, even getting this again. But I would supplant and just put a little seed in her soul. Just think about it. Just consider it. I know it doesn't feel right. Another man touching you, another man's kiss, another man's grazing your hair, another man in your bed. I get it. However, I think it would be beautiful for you because you have so much to offer this planet while you're here. You're solid in your purpose. You know about your existence. A lot of women and gentlemen aren't sure. They don't know what they're here to do. Listen, I deal with it all the time trying to get people to their purpose. So I know your selflessness is a power for real. And if you can conjoin with another one solid like that, you will find that there's a newfound joy again in life. And there are love styles that you will find yourself very good in. In the Living Soul guidance system, there are love styles that I can provide to you that will work well for you. You can go on my playlist for Celeb Matters and see all the other celebrity coaching that I've done. And I've also shared some very intricate information about how we can tap into getting to a new love, joy, even after we've been hurt. It may take a while. It may be a challenge. It may be hurtful. It may be painful. It may be unimaginable. But I think that in this lifetime, we experience certain things, not necessarily just because of us having to experience it, but sometimes we experience certain things so that we can help elevate others out of it. Help others to raise up and be more fulfilled again. Help others to grow again from evolving and feeling less burdened and getting to a place and space where they can be like, oh, there is life after death. Yes. And once you understand that death is just a transition and you can still tap into that love because that love is infinite, it just changes. Even after this avatar leaves, the love is still there. So all I would tell Lauren is that, look, he loved you. He loved your children. He loved your life that you shared. So at this point, who better than to assist in your appointment? Like I shared with you earlier, I have appointments by my late mother, and I know it's because of her. You know how I know? Because my mother actually chastised, literally came out of the spirit on one of the mothers that she appointed because she was not doing right. and my mother showed up. So it's not a guess for me. I know. Appointments can be made. We just need to be open to them. I think she's beautiful. I think she's a hell of a mom. I think she's doing an amazing job. I just know that in this pain, it's not easy, but in the celebrity, it's even harder. And I would just really, really, really explain to her that, she's a powerful living soul here. She's a dynamic woman. She can do so much on the planet. See, when we have family units, it's different because the father of the children, really make a difference. And if there's an absence there usually becomes an anger in the children. The anger isn't just seated because of, they have an attitude and they're a teenager and they don't get it and all this. But no, sometimes it's just not having a father present. I would strongly encourage her to definitely get back to love again. And just don't look. Just know. Have your knowledge already aware. Build your awareness. See, our awareness that we have, we oftentimes don't realize we have it. Before GPSs, we could telepathically find our way. But because we rely on everything else instead of our true human nature, we rely on other things to help us with, what we're trying to build or what we're trying to do. But actually, in our human nature and our human being, we have so many talents that we don't realize. You can telepathically find someone, but you don't have to look. If you allow him to bless it, and it just appears. And what's so funny is in the entry, it will look so nonchalant. The reason why is because like I said earlier, she's an androgynous submissive being. So in her being, she's going to be just really neutral. She's not going to try to force anything. She's cool. She's good at where she's at. However, it's going to just be one of those things that's like, that's different. But it'll be very subtle. It'll be very mild. Take your time. Don't rush. You've been through trauma. So I can't even imagine. And like I said, I don't try to sit here and say that I know, because I don't. I can't imagine that. But what I can do, and like I said, I would just really encourage, Lauren to reconsider. Just reconsider it. Just be open. And then I would coach her to that. But I would also, before I would do all that, I would also ask her like what she sees for herself. Because her vision matters in her spirit. Do you see yourself getting involved again? I mean, or do you just totally not even go there? Or is it that you just are terrified to do it again? Or where are you at? These are questions that if you're going through a loss, you want to ask yourself, well, where are you at? What do you see? Because what we see is usually what we believe. Not necessarily that we see something and we're like, oh no, I could never do that again. Oh my God, never. And then we kill the dream or the vision. But sometimes when we have something we see in our mind, sometimes it's to help you to see something different than maybe what you are so comfortable with being in. Sometimes we have to change it up. We have to change up the routine. We have to give it a different kind of look and change it and make it feel like, oh, well, what would happen if I did that again? Get curious. If you're hell-bent on thinking, I will never do this again, absolutely not, then maybe reconsider it and look at it a different way. Now what? oh, well, you know what? I guess if I look at it that way, I guess I could maybe change my mind. Here's what a change of mind looks like. A change of mind will help us to develop something in our soul that we never could have imagined before. A lot of times we stay stuck in our grief and our sadness and our life to where we're just not really fulfilled in because we don't change it up. We have no clue how to just change it. But the first thing we got to change is our mind. That's first. And that's what I would tell her. I would coach her. I say, Lauren, what do you see? And if she says, well, I see, I see me just being, alone and just dying like this or whatever. And I say, okay, what's the opposite way to see it? Hmm? Just asking. What's the different way to look at it? Could you? And then help her to see things different. Sometimes that's all we have to do. Just have to change the way we look at things. It's not easy to look at something like this, like, oh, especially when you've been hurt, man. But after you've been hurt, we can make a comeback now. We can feel it again. Just to tell you, I went through 2 divorces. I've had my share of love losses. And I don't feel sad. I'm okay. That's why I want her to see. Can she be okay in getting back to connection with a man again? Can she be okay with a man touching again? Can she be okay with getting back to her woman, her feminine soul? Can she get back to that? Because once we're out of something for too long, we end up, let me tell you something. When a woman stays abstinent too long, she can lose all desire to be sexual again. It's true. I encourage my clients, don't do that. See, if sex was just for procreation, we would never have sexual desire again. My ring size is a 6, love. I would just be like, okay, I can't. But if you sit down and look at things differently, you realize, oh my God, I could be in so much joy if I would just get back to my sexual self. Sex is for creating. Sex actually helps you to create. When we no longer are sexual because we left a relationship and we're no longer having sex, what happens is we lose our desire the longer we go without it. So, with that said, I want you to understand it is very important that your sexual energy stays vibrant. And Lauren is a beautiful woman. Yet if she does not return back to her intimacy and getting back to sexuality and sensuality, she may lose her vibrancy. And this goes for not just her, just women in general. When you don't continue on in this lifetime being intimate, you'll find that you're not as sexy anymore. You're not as vibrant. You're not as noticed. See, when a woman is sexual, there's a beaming light inside of her that shows out. It beams out of her soul. Why? Because she's full of creating energy. Creative energy is something that is vibrant. It shows, it's beaming, it glows. And when we don't get and tap into that side of ourselves, we lose our femininity. So I would tell her, look, it is okay. But we as women need a man's touch. We do. I'm sorry. We do. And when we don't have it, we get real loopy, get real aggravated, real agitated, easily angered. What do you want? I don't want to hear it. Then we get bitey with the kids. And, girl, when's the last time you were intimate? I don't know why. You need some because you're all over the place. Oh. I always end up going here because it's so important for us ladies to understand if you're not intimate, if you're shutting down all your sexual organs and you're not using them, you're going to lose them. Stop. Get back to intimacy again. Get back to enjoying it again. Allow a man to touch you again. This is vital. While we're here, why are we not? I'm confused. I get it. It's frustrating, but I'm telling you that I would tell Lauren to really consider going back and getting back into understanding the power that she holds in her spirit, learning and manifesting and doing and soul seeking, and all that she does is empowering, because I know she's on that soul stuff. You can look at her and tell. But outside of that, if she taps back in to really getting back to being open to just reconsidering going back into a family unit again, she will be out of this world. That woman is going to feel like at the top of the world. And she's going to do some things she never thought she would do again. Maybe she's going to do some things that she never saw herself doing also. But again, like I'm saying, we have to get out of the mindset, because once we lose our lover or we lose our husband or we lose our mate or our partner from something like this, we can't even get a hold to anything. We're just all over the place. But I think if she sits back and says, all right, coach, I'll just open the gates and just see. Not making you any promises, coach. I don't know about this, but I'll just see. Do it when you want to. I'm not forcing you to do it anytime. I'm just suggesting to maybe consider it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not forcing you. I'm just saying. So that she can be, I know. Honey, I know. But you're too dynamic of a woman not to have a man behind you. You know what I mean? And most of you women know what I'm talking about. You got a man behind you. You know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. The power of a man is very important for women. And we need to be intimate. We need to stop shutting all our sexual organs down. That don't make sense. We don't use them, we're lose them. And sex gives you energy. It helps race your heart. It gives you a lot of things besides just orgasm. It gives you self-esteem to get empowered to get some things done. Sex is important. And I would encourage her to do that too. You know I'm that coach. You know I'm always say that. You already know I'm going to go to that because most of us don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about the sex part, but the sex piece is important. We need it. Don't use your arm for a whole 30 days. Your arm's function won't be so good after day 31. When we stop using something, we lose it. Capiche? Y'all know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all commenting. Let me take a look and see what I see here. All right. We got a lot of oh my goodness. Well, I appreciate all of you guys, man. It's just been powerful. Yes. Again, I want you guys to realize it's important. Daylise, yes, you can ask Joe to help you. Matter of fact, he would be the best to help you, actually. Yes, you ask them through meditation. Absolutely. Your vision does matter. Eric, you in this compliments about my. Well, hello, sir. I'm so glad you're here from New Zealand. I appreciate you too. Guys, make sure to share this video. I'm going to close out now and get to my day. But I'm just really hoping that I helped not just Lauren, but I helped you see things different sometimes. We don't always have to assume that life is over once love is lost. It just means that life has changed. And if it's true love, that love just transitions. It's infinite. It doesn't die. The love is still there. But just be like, I need to have that appointment because, when you're talking about someone that cared a lot and was a father and very, very involved, he has to be the one I would suggest to help to guide you the best. No questions asked. So, you can reach me at my phone number. It's 844-5-WISDOM, extension 0. Please share the video, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Right now, I'm pretty consistently going live at 10 a.m. every day because I really think that that's kind of a consistent time, and I'm getting a lot of interaction around that time. It seems to be that that's a good time for people to kind of be up and at 'em for me. But when you share the video, it actually helps for the video to get more views so that other people know to come on, tomorrow. I'm not sure what my topic is going to be tomorrow. I think I have an idea, but I'm not sure yet. But if you go into the community, the YouTube community, you can see a lot of things that I talk about. I do a lot of blogging, a lot of writing, a lot of talking on there to where I'm explaining certain things that you can benefit from that I do. I do energy body work. I am attuned at Reiki level 2. So I do energy body work to help heal the body. I create jewelry. So I create, beaded jewelry. I do. And right now in the winter solstice, a lot of nasally stuff, yucky stuff is going on with the sinuses. This is the best time to wear pearls. Pearls are very good for respiratory issues right now. So I've been wearing the crap out of pearls. I wear my pearl rings that I create. I wear, my pearl, like I said, my pearl bracelet. So I'm always doing something. But yeah, I also create jewelry. You can actually see some of my jewelry shows on this channel. It's called Bead Me Breathless. So go over there and watch some of those videos as well. Share my videos. The more you share, the more I'll get more viewership. I'm really grateful. I really am. I'm grateful for everybody being here. So make sure to have a blessed day. And don't forget that, yes, death and dying is a part of life. But there is life afterwards. We can get back to a fulfilling love affair again. Just we have to learn to be open and willing to accept change. And the first change, like I said earlier, is the changing of your mind. Change your mind first. When you do that, you'll realize, oh, okay, my life is full of joy, yes. But if we change our minds, we can change So much more. Trust me. Okay, okay, guys. Like I said, I appreciate everybody that's here. That's funny, Corey. Okay, guys. I'm out of here. You have a blessed day. It's your coach, Carla Nicole. I'm signing off, guys. Best kept.